This is The Herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening live in Los Angeles on iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. Christina Pink is joining me for the first time. If you live in Los Angeles, you've seen her on Clippers coverage. If you watch the NFL, you see her on sideline. She is a Florida Gator at heart.
Am I allowed to do the Gator chomp in here?
Yeah, well, we would like you to hold back on that. Although my former college buddy Jim McElwain now coaches that team. It's great to have you, and I've asked management a couple of times if by chance you could fill in, and I'm so happy you're here today, and nice to meet you. And good show today. Let me start everybody with this. Today is the last stop in the Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather press tour. It started here in Los Angeles, then it went to Toronto, beautiful city. Then it went to New York, and then yesterday it was London, and now today it's London. It's all over, right? So here's what's really something that I'm kind of surprised we're all okay with. Like Muhammad Ali was a trash talker, but Muhammad Ali was amazing. And generally, we're okay with Michael Jordan having confidence or Larry Bird coming out to the three-point shooting contest. And remember the old story about Larry Bird? He came out for the three-point shooting contest, and Larry Bird said, all right, which one of you guys is playing for second place? But we're all okay with that as sports fans. Larry's a legend. Muhammad Ali was amazing. Michael Jordan, greatest ever. Here's what's interesting. A lot of you are betting Conor McGregor. None of the wise guys, none of the sharps. You do realize that Conor McGregor is just a loudmouth, and not only is he going to not just lose the fight, but never win a round, he's already lost 3 times as a UFC fighter. So he's not even dominating, I mean truly dominating, as a UFC fighter. Right now he's a con man selling you pay-per-views. And you may not like Floyd Mayweather, and I don't like a lot of things in his past, but he's actually been somewhat demure and more tasteful than Conor McGregor. If you go to the odds in Vegas, which RJ Bell told us this morning, it's Floyd minus 700. Now, it opened at like Floyd minus 2250, meaning you'd have to bet basically $2,200 to win a nickel. But it's been bet down by rubes and like common bettors. Wise guys, sharps, they're all on Mayweather, and you should be. But minus 700. Now think about this. Basically, this would be, and we looked it up this morning, this would be the 150th ranked player on the tennis tour trash-talking Roger Federer at Wimbledon. This would be Coastal Carolina trash-talking Kentucky. I went and looked this morning at the odds of some football games. Kent State plays Clemson this year. Kent State is a 38-point underdog. This would be Kent State talking trash at the 50-yard line to Clemson before kickoff. UTEP is a 44-point dog against Oklahoma. This would be UTEP going into Norman, Oklahoma, because remember, Mayweather is fighting in a boxing ring. It's home ring advantage. What would we do in sports if Winthrop, if Coastal Carolina went into Lexington and talked trash and got beat by 40? We'd call them buffoons. What would we do if UTEP or Kent State went into Oklahoma or Clemson? But some of you are just okay with Conor McGregor, who is UTEP here, who is Kent State, who is Coastal Carolina, who is Winthrop, who would be the New Orleans Pelicans in a 7-game series against the Warriors, and you're okay with him trash-talking. He's a loudmouth who has 3 losses in the UFC alone. All he is during these press conferences is louder. He's not right. He's louder. The opening line tells you this is a complete and utter mismatch. This is a 16 against the 1 seed. And the 1 seed is playing at home. Think about this. McGregor has to wear boxing gloves. Think about that. So Mayweather is controlling even what these guys wear. That's Kentucky playing Coastal Carolina, and Kentucky says it's in our arena, and you have to wear our jerseys inside out. This is a complete, utter mismatch from gear. By the way, Mayweather will make twice as much as Conor McGregor. Yet people are cheering Conor McGregor at this. So you would cheer UTEP talking trash to Clemson, or Kent State against Clemson, or Coastal Carolina taking on Duke and Kentucky. This fight will not be competitive. Vegas knows it will not be competitive. Wise guys are overwhelmingly betting McGregor. McGregor is going to make half as much. McGregor has to wear Mayweather's gear. McGregor has no rules in his advantage. He is right now a loudmouth con man selling pay-per-views. And he is the most vulgar and outspoken at this press conference, and everybody's apparently okay with it. And I find it interesting. Maybe this is just how culturally boxing and mixed martial arts lands for us, that we just like the blather. But can you imagine somebody that's this decided an underdog talking trash? This would be Jim McNeely talking. Who's the guy that fought Mike Tyson? McNeely? Peter McNeely. This would be Peter McNeely talking ultimate trash to Mike Tyson. You would laugh at it. So I just want you to know that I may not like Mayweather, but he's not the loudmouth here. He is not the loudmouth. Conor McGregor is. And Mayweather is not the con man here. McGregor is. He's got no chance to win a fight. He's got virtually no chance to win a round. He's having to submit with gear and money, gloves, ring. He is completely sold out for cash here. Mayweather's going to make money. He said, I don't want to make this a circus. Boxing gloves, boxing ring. Conor McGregor's like, make it a circus. I'll sell pay-per-view. So I just want you to know that as much as everybody is cheering Conor McGregor, he's the con man here. Let me segue into this. So I watched Lonzo Ball again last night. I watched some Summer League stuff. I know most of you don't. And Lonzo's statistical line was okay. He's the first player ever to have a triple-double at the Summer League, and he just had his second last night. I didn't think he was particularly effective. I thought he looked gassed. I think it is now time for the Lakers to take him out of Summer League and rest him. I think it's time for the Lakers to scale back on the minutes. I got the distinct feeling last night that the Lakers almost care about Lonzo's points and stats, and the Lakers almost care about winning this thing, and it means nothing. I like Lonzo Ball. I think he's going to be a good NBA player. I've even on occasion defended his outrageous promoting dad. But Lonzo Ball is averaging the second most minutes of anybody in the Summer League. That's pumping up his stats. Dennis Smith at Dallas and Josh Jackson at Phoenix and Jason Tatum at Boston have been far better players so far, and De'Aaron Fox has been more efficient. This is not an argument. The stats for Lonzo Ball now are being pumped up by simply the minutes he is playing. Here's the reality of Summer League basketball. Lonzo Ball, who's going to be a very nice player, is shooting an atrocious 36% and playing no defense against scrubs. And last night, he looked tired. It's time to pull him. It's time to scale it back. They already pulled out Brandon Ingram. Last night, guys named Kay Felder, Sir Dominic Pointer, TJ Williams, Anthony Gill, Eddie Tavares, Gerald Beverly, Sam Cassell Jr., they were scoring on Lonzo Ball. These are scrubs. He's shooting 36%. He's playing no defense. Can't stop anybody. He looks tired. Okay, and I'm a fan of Lonzo Ball, and I think he's going to be a terrific rookie. And I think he's remarkably interesting for the Lakers, and he'll elevate the team. But let's not kid ourselves now. Let's add some context to this. He is atrocious defensively and can't shoot against scrubs. And the Lakers over-under is 32.5 wins. It has not moved in a week when Lonzo Ball's played well. Let's add context to this. I felt watching last night, it felt like a little bit of a charade. It was, let's keep playing Lonzo Ball. He was on the court last night looking for places to rest. He threw up a three-pointer last night that not only didn't hit the rim, it hit the side of the backboard, and he was open. Scale it back, pull him off the floor, reduce minutes, give him a night off. Summer League is fun to talk about for guys like me. It means nothing. These are scrubs. Lonzo's unrefined. He's going to get better. But last night's the first night I thought, why is he on the floor? This is to pump up minutes, to pump up stats, to pump up points. I like him as a draft pick. I would have picked him. I'm all in on the kid. But let's add context. Let's not make this into a charade. Right now, Josh Jackson, Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox, Dennis Smith have been more efficient. They're playing fewer minutes. They're playing more consistent basketball, and they all look to be in better shape. At this point, Lonzo looks gassed and needs a break. For the record, the best game he played was after he rested for a game. I love Perky Jerky. What makes it so great are all the unique flavors. They have a new variety pack, Home Run. A lot of options. Listen, life gets boring fast. Try a different flavor. Every game, special offer, 40% off all multi-packs. The best tasting jerky on earth, guaranteed. Yeah, I hate to break your feelings, all you MMA fans, but Conor McGregor's a loudmouth who has no chance to win even a round. And he has sold his soul. I watched this yesterday. Conor McGregor sold his soul for this fight. He won't even wear UFC gloves. All the rules are in Mayweather's favor. Can you imagine if you had some competition in life? Basically, Conor McGregor signed a prenup for this fight, and he'll get nothing in a divorce. That's what this has come out to. This is so ridiculous that I am for publicity, and I think it'll be interesting. But you UFC fans that think he has a chance to win a round are ridiculous. None of the sharp money in Vegas, none of it is on McGregor. It's all on Mayweather. And the only people fighting, like MMA fans are always like, you don't get our sport. Here's what I get. Your best fighter sold his soul to be in this fight. Floyd Mayweather's like, we're using boxing gloves. McGregor's like, okay, I'll do the boxing gloves. Floyd Mayweather's like, no, we'll fight in a boxing ring. And McGregor's like, okay, I'll fight in your ring too. And Mayweather's like, I'll make twice to 3 times as much as you will. And McGregor's like, okay, all right, I'll do that. And who's the loudmouth at this PR tour? It's not Mayweather. It's not Kentucky basketball. It's not Tom Brady. It's not Ali. It's not Clemson football. The loudmouth in this battle is the 38-point underdog. And who sold his soul. This is what they call in college football a body bag game, where Kent State knows they're going to go to Oklahoma or Clemson, lose by 40, and they just do it for a paycheck. That's selling your soul. You do that to keep your program alive. You do realize that's what Conor McGregor's doing here. He has sold his soul for this. He has no chance to win. He's not even going to wear boxing gloves. He's not even going to fight in an octagon. None of the rules favor him. He just sold all of it so I can get a paycheck. And then he goes out, yells, screams, and his fans buy it. And by the way, I'm going to watch it too. But it is remarkable how people are cheering for Conor McGregor, and they're upset. I mean, yesterday, Mayweather literally threw dollar bills at Conor, calling him his stripper. I mean, that's how he sees it. That's how everybody that's organizing this, that's not a UFC fan, that's how they see this. It's just a complete sellout to make money for McGregor. And by the way, good for Dana White. People are going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. It's going to be interesting. It's late August. I'm dying for stuff like this. Go buy the pay-per-view. But if you're cheering Conor and booing Mayweather, just know the real story here. My second takeaway to start the show, Christina Pink joining me today, is, listen, Lonzo Ball is going to be terrific. I'm for him. Last night was the first time I watched Lonzo Ball, and I thought, okay, now this is about padding some stats, winning games. Stop it. Summer League is not refined. It's scrubs. Lonzo looks gassed. He is not playing any defense. He was going at half speed late in the game. You're just padding stats now. He has not shot the ball well. In the second half especially, he's playing no defense. He looks tired. He's taking bad shots. Let's stop this.
Well, he had that one game where he went off for like 36, and I think the bar was set so high that people expect him to do the same thing the next night. He had a poor shooting night, but at this point, it's Summer League. We've seen his skill set. We know what he can do.
And by the way, the Lakers said with Brandon Ingram stubbed his toe. They're like, okay, we're taking him out. Because the Lakers don't have to sell Brandon Ingram. Last night felt to me like a sales job, like the Lakers are taking this stuff seriously. Don't. And this is not criticism of Lonzo. This is a reality. This is Summer League. I talk about it because it's slow. You think I'd talk about this September through February? You think I'd be talking about this league? It's July. It's August. We're all ready to take a vacation. I want to say this, too. I was very tough on Tim Tebow as a football player. As a pro football player. Loved him as a college player. But Tim Tebow last night, Port St. Lucie, moved up to single A baseball. Tim Tebow, now batting .327, did this.
And he drives a ball deep left field, going back to the wall. This one is gone! Bye-bye baseball! Tim Tebow, a walk-off home run! Oh, they're going to get him at home. Mets win 5-4. Tim Tebow, the magic.
That's the greatest baseball moment I've ever seen in Port St. Lucie. Okay, first of all, Michael Jordan never looked like a baseball player. Tebow sort of does. He's kind of thick and compact. He kind of looks like a slugger in baseball. Minor league baseball is made for Tim Tebow. It's why I've always been supportive here. There's a minor league baseball team called the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. I'm not making this up. They had a game on Father's Day. This is an actual promotion they did. They had a You Are Not the Father's Day promotion, and they handed out pregnancy tests. I'm not joking here. That's what they do in minor league baseball. Minor league baseball, I worked for 2 years in minor league baseball. They bury engagement rings on the infield. They have almost ridiculous, goofball, offensive promotions. They give away stuff. It's not about winning. Sandy Alderson, who runs the Mets, acknowledged, quote, look, we signed him because he's a good guy. He's a celebrity, partly because it's entertainment. My attitude is, why not? Minor league baseball does not have a big TV contract. Minor league baseball does not have enormous digital rights. They need to sell tickets for $6 a pop. Michael Jordan did and was awful. Tim Tebow's doing the same, and he's pretty decent. He's not a great player. He's not a major league player, and I'd be bothered if he was taking a major league job. But he is attendance HGH. He is doubling and tripling the attendance of everywhere he goes. And the Florida State League is a league that nobody goes to. It's in Florida. It's in the summer. It's outdoors. Okay, nobody goes to these games. In a country that's incredibly divided, he is a unifying experience in sports. And I'm a cynical guy, and most people aren't. And sometimes the media just misses things because we're too cynical. He is the ultimate good guy, underdog, and a perfect fit for his brand is minor league baseball. But you tell me he's an NFL quarterback, I'm going to beat him up a little. I'm going to be critical of him. But if you're going to argue that he's not a minor league player and should not be promoted in the minor leagues, you're just wrong. He is exactly what minor league baseball should be. Fun, lively, selling out crowds. I worked in minor league baseball. There is always room for Tim Tebow. And Mark Schlereth, whose son's a major leaguer and played in the minors, on this show recently and defended Tebow.
I'm telling you, he's a better baseball player, not than a football player. The kid's a great football player. He's not a quarterback. He can't play that position. And he's been offered opportunities to play other positions, and he turned them down because he wanted to be a quarterback. Right now, he's a better baseball player than he was a quarterback.
Listen, this is fun. This is unifying. This is minor league baseball. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Look at their promotional card. I have no problem at all with this. If you tell me he's a major league player and he takes a job from a major leaguer, I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool with somebody who's got more talent and has committed 12 years of their lives playing minor league baseball. This is where Tebow should be, and I would sign him to a lifetime minor league contract for as long as he could wobble out to the field and swing a bat.
This is the Herd Podcast.
You know, it is remarkable to me that people think Conor McGregor could beat Floyd Mayweather. It is absolutely remarkable to me. Boxing is a specialized talent. I mean, if I could, let's say you're a very smart person. You're listening to me right now, and you're a college kid. You're a 3.8 student. You come from a smart family. Just pretend, because we know it's not true. Pretend you're smart, and you're a smart person right now. As smart as you are, I could not teach you in a week to be a pilot. I could not teach you to be a doctor. I could not teach you to be an attorney. You have law school, medical school, flight training. Even pilots now have to go back to flight training regularly. You do get that's what boxing is. You do get Michael Jordan tried to play baseball and embarrassed himself. You do get Randy Moss, great athlete, tried to play basketball and embarrassed himself. Boxing's even more specialized. The idea that Conor McGregor's not fighting a tin can, fighting the greatest boxer on the planet. He's not going to win a round. There are certain things that are not specialized. I'll give you an example. Sales. If you find a great pharmaceutical salesperson, let's say there's a young woman, she's a 30-year-old, she's a pharmaceutical salesman, she's terrific. She could apply many of those same skills to a different product. She could sell something else. He could sell something else. Sales isn't as specialized. Now, there are certain products that you really have to know. A car salesman better know cars, and a pharmaceutical salesman has to know what she or he is selling. But you can become a good salesman if you have a personality and you just work hard. And you can do it rather quickly. I mean, I can sell radio, I could sell TV, I could sell real estate tomorrow. I don't have a real estate license. I could sell real estate tomorrow because I know a little bit about it and I can talk. You can't just walk into a boxing ring and beat the world's best fighter. Look at the video I'm showing you of Floyd Mayweather. Look at the speed, the flexibility. He is at a different level, and he's the world's best at this. He is the world's best neurosurgeon. He's the world's best doctor. He's the world's best fighter pilot. And you're asking, it's almost like, taking an example. If I said the world's best decathlete, 10 events, and Usain Bolt, you'd be like, Usain Bolt is Usain Bolt is a specialist. He is a sprinter. If Usain Bolt, who is Floyd Mayweather, took on the best decathlete in the world in 10 events, the decathlete would beat him. He would trounce Usain Bolt. He would not beat him, though, in the 100 and 200. Usain Bolt is a specialist. He is a world-class sprinter. A decathlete is a B-plus sprinter, B- shot putter, B+ javelin, B- 400, C+. You just don't want to be terrible at any of the event. He can long jump. He can high jump. He can sprint. He can javelin toss. He's not great at any of them. Okay, Floyd Mayweather is the world's best boxing specialist. He will humiliate Conor McGregor. And they're fighting in his ring. And they're using his gloves. And it's all boxing rules. This will not be competitive. Not be close and not be competitive.
Catch the Herd from noon to 3 Eastern on iHeartRadio and FS1.
There is no agenda here. There is no protecting anybody. There is no team to talk for. And I'm not going to give you his name, but he is a scout that we covet, and his information is valuable to us. And he was at the Summer League games last week, and we are welcoming Anonymous NBA scout to the show. Anonymous, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Okay, let's start with this. Lonzo Ball has played the second most minutes. I felt for the first time last night he needed to be taken out of a game. He looked gassed. He looked tired. He was finding spaces to rest. I love his length. I think he's fairly fluid, though not overly dynamic. What have you seen so far that you like about Lonzo Ball, and what should concern us?
The things that I like about him the most are the way the ball moves when he's involved, whether it's a direct pass or what I call a discovery pass. The basketball seems to have life when it's in his hands. It just moves. And it's not the assist that I'm really looking for, but when he plays, when he, I was watching courtside a couple of times watching him play, it's just different. The ball just gets smarter when it's in his hands. It moves quickly. It's not always, like I said, the fancy, sexy scoring play that the highlights saw the first night with Ingram, but he just makes the correct play.
How concerned should people be about his shooting to this point in the mid-30s range?
Not at all. I saw the first game, and he didn't score very much, I don't think, the first game. His competitive advantage has nothing to do with shooting the basketball. His competitive advantage is his vision, his ability to pass it. He shot over 40% from the three-point line in college. I know that's a shorter line. Guys coming out of college going to the NBA have a difficult time backing up 4 feet to shoot that shot. And it's going to take some time. I'm not worried about his shooting ability at all. He's going to handle it. He's going to move it. And if he gets a few points here and there, I'm happy for it. But it's not something that I would concern myself at all. That's not what I'm looking for. Anonymous
NBA scout joining us. It's an interesting world we live in, and I want to ask how it's changed for you. There were certain things years ago that were really important when a player was drafted. But now, if a guy's got length and can shoot, it covers up a lot of blemishes. And Kyle Kuzma for the Lakers is long. He can put it on the deck. His shot's a little flat, but it's accurate. Maybe 8 years ago, I'm not as impressed, but I watch him and I think to myself, wow, it looks like the Lakers found a contributing player at the bottom of the first round. Am I reaching here? What do you see?
I saw him play just sparingly. I didn't see him play a ton. I think what teams look for at the bottom of the first round and these later picks is what can they bring to maybe the second unit of a team.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily going to be a starter right away. It's somebody that you need to fill a specific role, a job. There's going to be a lot of job openings in LA. Their roster is wide open, and there's going to be a lot of options for them to try to fit pieces together. But you want guys that can be productive. And the thing about Summer League, it's sort of fool's gold, is, sort of like the G League, where I don't want the leading scorer in the G League on my NBA team, because that's not what that guy's going to do when he gets to my NBA team. I need a guy that can do a specific thing. It's a big that can run and screen and defend the rim, or it's a guy that can be a specialist and shoot. I think Kuzma's got that ability to just fill a small niche, and to start with. And I'm all about being aspirational and trying to do more. But at the time, he's going to get a job with the Lakers if he does his specific job really well and doesn't try to do more of that in the moment.
Anonymous NBA scout joining us. Dennis Smith, Mavericks, is as athletic as we suspected. Josh Jackson's looked good with the Suns. Jason Tatum with the Celtics. Let's start with Dennis Smith, Mavericks. I was told coming in, and then I watched him, I thought, wow, he's dynamic. Little Stevie Francis maybe, but Stevie Francis could at times take shots I didn't want and I didn't consider to be a great leader. Let's start with Dennis Smith. What do you see?
A lot of tough twos, what we call tough twos. A guy in front of you, and you try to make them change of direction 2 times and pull up for a jump shot. Only a certain handful of guys can make those kind of shots, and it's usually the top 5 guys in our league. But his athleticism is going to be his competitive advantage. He's probably the most athletic guy in the summer league. And if you're that good of an athlete, there's going to be a spot for you. But again, it goes back to what I believe in terms of how you get a job and keep a job is doing what you do that no one else can do, and that's be an athlete. Dallas has got a pretty smart coaching staff, and they're going to figure out where to put him to take advantage of that and not put him in a place where he can't succeed. So, optimistic for him just for his athletic ability.
Jason Tatum for the Celtics. What do you like?
He's special. Saw him courtside, and he's got great length. He can go either direction off the dribble. His space creation was really unique. He's really long, pretty tall, creates a ton of space on his turnaround jump shots. He does take a lot of tough twos, as I talked about earlier, but his ability to put it on the floor and get to the rim at that size, I don't know what is he, 6'8", I think is what he is. He's going to be good. I don't know where he plays in Boston. It depends on if they make any more moves and where they what they've got on the perimeter. But he is. You see him, and you always talk about the eye test. He passes the eye test for sure. And one of the things that I'll mention about all these guys is the NBA game is different. I think guys when they get to the NBA are actually a little bit better than they skewed in college, and I believe that's because of space. in the NBA, there's way more space than there is in college, and that has a lot to do with the way the defenses tilt and help and recover. There's going to be more space for him to drive it and to get to the rim, and I think it's going to be even better than what we've seen in the past.
Anonymous NBA scout joining us. Josh Jackson of the Suns. I said he was my favorite two-way player coming into the draft. I had watched him at Kansas, and I thought, boy, what an athlete. Little Jimmy Butler thing going on, but I don't know if he can shoot. And again, I tend to, Mr. Scout here, I tend to be willing to give young college kids a break on shooting. I think you can. Lonzo Ball's got a quirky delivery, and you don't have a problem with it. Josh Jackson, your takeaway on him?
I don't worry about the shooting either. If anybody knows the Kawhi Leonard story, they overhauled his jump shot day one. Their shooting coach in San Antonio overhauled his shot and made it completely different. I don't worry about his shooting either. What I like is his measurables. His length is off the chart, and he's athletic. And I almost dislike the term two-way player. Basketball is a two-way game, and I know some guys focus only on one end or the other, but he's long enough and athletic enough to be able to play two ways. I do like, that's a reasonable expectation, is to play both ends of the floor. If he's going to, be a productive player in the NBA for a long time, he's going to figure out to do it both ways. I do like him. I think he's a good kid. I've heard a lot of good things about him. Sort of a long guy that can put it on the floor and finish. Again, a really good elite athlete. So yeah. I think he's going to be fine. But, and Phoenix is going to struggle with what they're doing anyway. So I think he'll probably get a lot of playing time, and you'll get to see him quite a bit.
And finally, our anonymous NBA scout. Give me a kid you have seen. And, you're a scout. There is some guesswork here, but you certainly know a lot more than I do. You have prototypes, people you can compare it to. You get film I don't see. Has there been a player that surprised you in the Summer League?
There's two guys, and one guy that I've been watching for a couple years now, and he's in the Celtics organization. And nobody outside of Ames, Iowa, is going to know who he is, but Abdel Nader is with the Celtics, and he played for the Maine Red Claws last year in now the G League. He's a name that was always top three of players to watch in the G League. I think he's going to get a chance to play this year. Big kid, 6'6", actually handles the basketball, makes plays, doesn't dominate the ball. I like him a lot. And then the other guy is Bryn Forbes, former Spartan. Had some time with the Spurs last year in a few games and averaged a bunch. Can shoot the bottom out of it. Again, can come in as a specialist. He is leading the Summer League in scoring, and that's not anything that I actually care about or put any stock into, although he's making shots against the competition. It is an important thing. But when he gets to San Antonio, that's not going to be his job necessarily. It's going to be to make open jump shots. So those two guys, once again, the Spurs, they do what they do, and they find a guy that might have been overlooked or, not sure what, the opinions were mixed on him, and they pull him in and they make him a player. So, those two guys are ones that I would take a look at.
Anonymous NBA scout. Let me just go back to Lonzo real quick. If I said to you, Lonzo is a 12-point, 8-assist, 4-rebound guy, shoots 39%, realistic?
I think you're short on the assist number. Get that into the double digits. The rebounding, you're close. I get in rebounding, so that's crazy important. But I think that's fair. I think that, the comparisons to Jason Kidd are really accurate, but I think he's a little more athletic. What I think is going to happen with him is there's going to be, again, I talked about the discovery pass. There's going to be plays that are made that he's going to be involved in that aren't going to have his name on it, but it's going to be a good play where the ball moves. It's funny. I'm actually watching the games right now on TV, and he just made the play that I was talking about, sort of a hockey pass. The assist before the assist. I just think the ball is going to be smarter. It's going to move better with him on the floor. And, Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka talked about him being transcendent. I don't know exactly what, I guess transcendent is up for opinion, but I think he's going to be really good. I think you're going to see a point guard in LA that you haven't seen since Magic. It's the ball it just has life when he's on the floor, and I'm excited to see how he does. Now, I think LA, obviously, they got things to do with the rest of their roster to make themselves better. They're not going to be great right away, but he is going to help them win a lot of games. I think you're going to see a big chunk of improvement in the wins from last year.
Wow, this is the most fun I have had interviewing an anonymous person in my entire 20-some year career. Anonymous scout. If I knew who you were, I'd buy you a steak. Whoever you are and wherever you are, tremendous work today. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me.
All 3 hours of The Herd are always streaming on the Herd channel on the iHeartRadio app.
I love all these UFC fans are just going crazy. Colin, you don't understand Conor McGregor. I totally get him. He sold his soul to make $100 million, $50 after taxes. He's going to retire. And that's okay, but let's not kid ourselves. He sold his soul. They're not going to use UFC gloves. It's boxing gloves. They're not fighting in an octagon. They're fighting in a ring. Mayweather totally controlled this fight, has all the rules, all the gear, anything you'd want is all in Mayweather's favor. And McGregor sold his soul knowing he has no chance to win a round. He's talking himself into a lot of things, but deep down it's going to be a Usain Bolt Mayweather, a specialist, fighting a decathlete being McGregor, and they're racing in a 100-meter sprint. It's going to be an absolute dominating performance by Mayweather. It will not be close. I'm going to buy it, so go buy it. It'll be fun. But McGregor is just a loudmouth. He doesn't have anything to back it up. He's basically sold his soul for this fight. Gloves, ring, I'll do whatever it takes to get the money. And now he's just trying to ramp up pay-per-views. Good for him. I'll pay for it and watch, but he has no chance to land a punch. And if he did, they're using boxing gloves, which he's not used to, and they're not going to knock out Mayweather. I mean, to knock out Mayweather, you'd need a combination, 4, 5, 6, 7 punches. You think he's just going to go in there with a haymaker from left field and knock him out and the fight's over? Zero chance of that happening. That is not going to happen. You know, it'd be one thing if he was if Mayweather's number one asset was boxing and he was really skilled at it, and you figured over the course of 6 rounds, he landed some heavy combinations, a couple in the second, one in the fourth. Then he gets to the 8th, 9th. He's done some body blow. You're not going to touch him. I mean, on Fox Sports Go here, when you show the video of Mayweather, compare it to the video of McGregor. It's like a world-class championship magician and, your Uncle Louie doing card tricks. Like, it's a totally different ball game here. So this week was interesting. There was a lot of Conor McGregor was trying to be like a comedian, was kind of funny. Peyton Manning hosted the ESPYs. I thought he was, for the clips I saw, I thought he was fantastic. And, years ago, they had the Blue Collar Comedy Tour with Jeff Foxworthy and Larry the Cable Guy and Ron White and Bill Engvall. It was called the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. Did very, very well. And then years ago, we had the Kings of Comedy with Bernie Mac and Cedric the Entertainer and Steve Harvey and DL. He was in that. We've had these comedy tours. I was sitting around, I was thinking, Charles Barkley's funny, and Peyton Manning this week was funny, and Conor McGregor was vulgar, but at times kind of funny. And I think they should put together the original Kings of Sports Comedy Tour. Take a look.
If you loved the original Kings of Comedy, you'll love the original Kings of Sports Comedy, featuring all your favorite funny athletes, like Peyton Manning, who delivers the Omaha-has.
And our gymnastics team was so dominant that Kevin Durant told me he wants to play for them next year.
Then Sir Charles will have you chuckling.
Old cheese, Shaq. And the chips are stale.
Then there's the notorious and hilarious Conor McGregor.
What the is he wearing?
And finally, for the kids, everyone's favorite laugh master, Bill Belichick.
I'm the coach. I do what's best for the football team. I don't know why we can't understand that.
Catch the original Kings of Sports Comedy. Hopefully, it'll be funnier than this lame bit.
Bill Belichick's subtle, nuanced humor, I think, really, he would be the opener. He wouldn't be, Peyton Manning and Charles would close it.
Absolutely. But we got to get that on a loop. I love that.
Fantastic.